to week 5. This week, our topic will be employment communication. We are particularly going to be talking about resumes and job letters. By the end of this week, students should be able to prepare a professional resume. They should be able to learn what to expect at job interviews. They should also understand as well as prepare application and follow-up letters. This week, we're going to begin discussing the employment process. The employment process has many parts, all designed to increase your chances of getting a job. These 4 chances include the resume, the application letter, the job interview, and the follow-up letter. By this week, you're required to find an ad for a job you're qualified to do. In other words, the ad you find must match your current profile. Once you have found an ad for a job you're qualified to do, you should assess your values, skills, interests, and goals. It is also prudent to know the difference between a job and a career. A job is functional for most people because it addresses a need. For example, put food on the table, save for a major purchase, etc. A career, on the other hand, is a lifetime engagement of a professional nature. It is important at this time to find out what you are passionate about or what you are good at. Where do you see yourself 5 years down the road? How does this job contribute to your overall career goals? After you have done that, you should prepare a resume of your qualifications that targets the ad you found. Let us begin. You may ask the question, why should I write a resume? A resume is a useful tool to have for a variety of reasons. The resume provides the employer with a summary of your qualifications. The resume provides you, as the job applicant, a platform to present yourself in a professional manner. And finally, the resume allows you to get your foot in the door with your potential interviewer. For our purposes, there are 3 types of resumes. I will discuss them in the order that they are most preferred by the employer. Chronological resumes, as the name implies, are a historical summary of your work experience starting with your most recent job and working your way backwards in time. This tends to be the most preferred type of resume for employers because it gives the impression that the job applicant has nothing to hide. Next is the functional resume. This type of resume de-emphasizes the applicant's job timeline while emphasizing the skills and experience the applicant brings to the table. Quite often, this type of resume is prepared by persons who have difficulty explaining gaps in their work history. For example, a female who has taken time off to start a family can hardly present such as a legitimate reason to be out of work. Likewise, an individual who has experienced gaps in their work history due to incarceration will equally be hard-pressed to present such as a legitimate reason to be absent from the workforce. The last type of resume combines the best attributes of a chronological and functional resume. However, it's the least desired resume by employers. The combination resume tends to be longer, and because of that, I generally advise against writing a combination resume. Now it's time to talk about the many parts of a resume. The resume starts with a main heading. The main heading consists of the applicant's name, street address, phone number, and email. Applicants who have a URL where samples of their work can be found may also include it in the main heading of their resume. The first optional item on the resume is the career objective that the job applicant presents. The career objective is included in the resume when the position the applicant is applying for is advertised. This is because the career objective is generally a reflection of the position the applicant is interested in. However, a career objective is not needed when applying for a job that is not advertised. Depending on the years of training and work experience of the job applicant, the education information could be listed before the work experience and vice versa. The education section of the resume tends to summarize the educational qualification of the job applicant, and that information is presented in reverse chronology as well. This section also includes the institutions attended as well as graduation dates. Occasionally, the applicant may include an optional relevant coursework category right after the education section. This section can include a list of 3 to 6 courses that are relevant to the job the applicant is seeking. This tends to be the case when the applicant has training but no experience in the area he or she is seeking employment in. The relevant coursework category can also be used by applicants who have limited relevant experience. Another optional category is the summary of qualifications. The summary of qualifications should be a bullet list response to the qualifications the applicant must have for the advertised position. The employment section includes the employer details, the name of the organization, city and state, length of employment, all in reverse chronology, as well as the job title of the previous jobs or current jobs held. Using a bullet list, the applicant can now use action verbs to describe the duties performed in the previous or current job. The chapter on resume writing includes a cluster of action verbs you can use when preparing your resume. In addition to paid employment, the applicant can include an optional volunteer experience section, which is listed in the same manner as the employment section. The skills and capabilities section is used by the applicant to showcase skills possessed, including language, supervisory, team skills, etc. The extracurricular activities section, if included, contains activities of the candidate that are not central to, but support curricular development. Some examples include memberships of social and academic fraternities and memberships in student clubs. Other optional categories include honors and awards, hobbies and interests, as well as references. Honors and awards can be from work or from school. The info needed in this section includes the name of the award, who awarded it, and inclusive dates of the award. To complete the hobbies and interests section, the applicant needs only to list activities they engage in during their spare time. It is worthy to note that some hobbies may not be politically correct to include in the resume. For example, an avid gun collector may have difficulty listing such on the resume. Finally, the decision to include your references on your resume is yours to make. Some, including the author of your textbook, have argued that it is not necessary to include references on the resume. From my personal perspective, I feel that including your references has an added benefit of showing how confident you are that others will back up your competence as well as your qualifications and training. Please review the sample resume formats that can be found in the chapter for this week's reading and prepare your resume of qualifications. Remember that the resume is one of 4 items turned in for the employment package assignment. It is now time to talk about the job letters.